let's look at how we can use and how to use one of the new features in GoldMine Premium Edition 8.5, and that is cross-field validation. And what cross-field validation means is that the lookup list of one field can change or be based on an entry in another field. So, for example, here as we look at a record in GoldMine, we have an account type on the left screenshot of a customer, and you can see that the account status can be either active, inactive, key, or a target customer. Now, what if, however, Barbara Jones instead, and now we're looking on the right side here, was a prospect? Well, a prospect status can be cold, hot, or warm. So in previous versions of GoldMine, we really didn't have any good way of changing an account status field, for example, based on what the account type was. However, in 8.5, we do have that option, and let's look at how we're going to set that up. Now, as we're setting up the cross-field validation, here are some of the constraints that we have. If we set up cross-field validation for primary fields, and when I say primary fields, essentially I'm talking about fields that are on either the top half of the screen, like company, contact, title, department, account status, account type, industry, any of those. The standard fields on the primary fields, which are the ones that come with GoldMine, can be dependent, their lookup list can be dependent only on other standard fields. So we're really talking about the fields that are built into GoldMine. Those are in the Contact 1 table, company, contact, title, department, etc., as well as the key fields. And then custom fields, which we can put on the top half of the screen, or can also go on the Fields tab, which are Contact 2 fields, can be based on either standard fields or other custom fields. So a custom field lookup list can be based on a Contact 1 field, a standard field, or another user-defined field, another Contact 2 field. Now, when we're setting it, we can also set up these cross-field validation for fields on when we schedule activities or complete activities, or we add a linked document, for example. Now, these can be based on another field within that same record type. So, for example, if I want to change my calendar reference, I can change my calendar reference field lookup based on a calendar activity code, so another field within that calendar table, or based on a field within the Contact 1 table. So let's look at how we can implement cross-field validation in GoldMine Premium Edition 8.5. And let's use account type and account status as our example. And right now, regardless of what kind of an account type it is, if I look at account status and I look at my F2 lookup or my dropdown for this, it's going to show all possible values. So even though this is a prospect, and a prospect should be either cold, hot, or warm, we still see all the options. For example, current really just relates to if it's an employee. Are they a current employee or are they a past employee? So we want the account status field drop down here to change based on the account type. So the first thing I have to know is the account type field. And if I do a right click properties on account type, I'll see that the name in the database here is key 1. So I'm going to go ahead and in account status here, I'm going to turn on cross-field validation based on the key 1 or the account type field. So I'm going to go into my setup here, and I'm going to turn on lookup list depends on the value of another field for Contact 1. And since account status is another primary field, we can only base the lookup based on another Contact 1 field. So we'll go ahead and choose key 1 here and click OK. So now, when I look at this account status, you can see that for each one of these entries, there's also a key 1 associated with it. So for active, I know for active, I want it to only be for customers. So I'll click Edit on the active here, and I'll say that only valid when key 1 contains customer. Okay. And then for cold here, we'll edit that, and cold is going to be valid for prospects. Current is going to be valid only for customers. You'll notice that they disappear because this is a prospect record, so I'm not going to see customer anymore. Hot is going to be valid for only customers, or excuse me, only for prospects. Inactive will be valid for only customers. key will be valid only for customers. Other will be valid for any. So if we don't know what it is, we'll leave it at any. Past is going to be valid for only customer. Target will be valid for only customers. And warm will be valid for only prospects. All right, looks good. So now, if I look at this prospect field, this is set as a prospect, and I go to account status, it can be cold, hot, warm, or other. However, if this is a customer, the account status can only be active, current, inactive, key, past, or target. So we'll say that this is an active customer. Similar for if you want to change the lookup when you schedule a call or complete a call in the reference here. You'll notice if I click on the right arrow, here's my callback references. These are all of them. And then I can change this lookup list based on either a contact one field, so one of the standard fields in GoldMine, or another field within the calendar table, for example, activity code. Right. So if I wanted to change the reference here based on what's in the code field, I can do that. I can also change the reference here based on, well, we'll do account type again. So, or contact one, key one, so that our entries here are only valid or are only shown if it's a customer or a prospect or an employee, etc. And that's cross-field validation for GoldMine Premium Edition 8.5. Hope you enjoyed, and don't forget to visit us on the GoldMine blog at www.thegoldmineblog.com. Thank you.